He's gone!
Oh, all your fancy signatures, mate. Mine get pinned up on the wall. I don't wear mine. All right, we're going live in 3, 2, 1.
How are we there, guys? And welcome to another episode of the Smashing Crossbar Podcast. I am your host, Josh. In my little bunker at home, obviously, with everything going on down in Victoria, we figured let's isolate. So shout out to my co-host Ben. How are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. How are you doing?
Very good, mate. Very good. Just be sure to let us know if there's any audio issues, and
I'll let you know, mate. I'll let you know.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. So yeah, obviously on tonight's show, we are lucky enough to be joined by Cassidy Davis from the Newcastle Jets current co-captain, to get her insight, obviously, into the 1920 season and obviously a little bit about her career in general. So we'll bring her on now. Cass, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, very good, very good. How is COVID treating you?
Yeah, I guess it's been a bit of a break for me. Just with the seasons that I play in, I've been playing mostly all year round, so it's kind of been nice to have a little bit of a break, but that only lasted a few weeks and now I'm over it. So, yeah, it's been alright, but I'm keen to get back into football and playing games.
Yeah, I could imagine. I could imagine it'd be pretty painful sitting around just waiting and not really having an answer of what's going on. It could be very frustrating. Um, we'll talk a little bit. Obviously, we'll get into a little bit about the big announcement tomorrow morning at around 2 a.m.
I'm getting
Before we
up
get into
for
that,
it, and
you getting
and
up
you
for it,
know,
mate?
for me, mate, that's massive.
That is massive.
I'll
Hang on. Are you going to get up for it, or are you just going to stay awake?
probably stay awake.
There it is. I was going to say, when you go to sleep, mate, you ain't getting up. But before we go into any further, before we go any further, we will big shout out to our major sponsor, Gabriel Marr Optometrist. Be sure to go check those guys out. Desmond in the plaza down there, Desmond. Thanks to Lockie and his father, obviously, for all the sponsorship that they have given us over the last couple of months. Muchly appreciated. So yeah, be sure to go down and see those guys for all your eye care needs. So Cass, obviously the 1920 season, it wasn't the best for a Jets player / Jets fan. Yourself, 12 games, 12 starts. I don't even believe you got subbed in those 12 games either. Pretty much 90 minutes the whole time. Let's probably start from the beginning, I suppose, from the start of the season. What was your thought as a leader coming into the season? Obviously, you were told that we're not really going to get much international support, so the international players weren't coming and so forth. What were you thinking? How was the team leading into the season?
Yeah, obviously, a little bit different not having internationals. But I think we had enough young talent and players that were keen to work for each other, and I think that's what we drove into the group from the beginning about mentality and pushing each other and making each other better and rising that standard at training. And I think we had a quite good start. Obviously, with the Melbourne City game, getting a result out of that was really good for us to start the season.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just made sure that we dug deep and tried not to. Well, I guess we didn't worry about the fact that we didn't have internationals when we first heard it. Obviously, it was different, and but yeah, once we got together and Deansy and Ash spoke to us and said this is for us to show what we can do, and as a lot of local talent and young players and those girls that came from elsewhere, yeah, it was for us to show that we can compete and we can win games without having those international stars. And I think that we did show that. Obviously, disappointing coming last and losing some games by small things that we could definitely do better. But they're a learning experience for us and for the young girls. And yeah, I think it's still not good that how we came. Sorry, how we went. Coming last. No one wants to come last, and still a bit of a struggle at the end of the season. But you've got to take the positives. You've got to build on that, and you've got to work towards being better for next season.
Yeah, absolutely. Like as you said, obviously, you've got to deal with what you've got. Obviously, if you haven't got the internationals coming in, you can't exactly whinge about it. It's is what it is, and you have to deal with what you've got and everything. But in general, like those international players, do you feel that it was a big loss? Like as in, obviously some of the internationals we've had in the past, the internationals obviously for other teams. I know there was a couple of good ones. Ben and I went down and watched. I believe it was you guys play. Was it Melbourne
Victory.
Victory? Ben, I think
It was Victory.
Yeah, Melbourne Victory, and there was a couple of internationals there who were just phenomenal. You know what I mean? Like, and no disrespect to some of the girls.
Their American winger was just up and down the field. all game.
Oh, yeah.
She was nothing but trouble.
Jenkins.
Yeah,
Jenkins,
that's
yeah,
it.
she
That's
was-
it.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, she was just so dominant, and you could definitely tell. Like Ben and I just sitting there going, "Oh, could you imagine if we just had someone, if the experience, I suppose."
Yeah.
What do you think they were missed? Do you think you guys needed something like that, a bit of experience?
Yeah, I think experience is awesome, and like plays like Gilly when we had her, like
Yeah.
obviously it
Yeah.
adds a lot of spark to the team, and I think her creativity was something that we probably did lack a little bit, and it was hard to obviously not be getting those players, knowing that they're awesome players. So when you know that you're not going to have players at that level, then obviously it is hard. But there are obviously other ways around, as I said, the mentality stuff and working hard for each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you're going to lose players that are good, then obviously that is hard.
Yeah. On a personal level, what were your thoughts of yourself, of your own performance? Obviously, if we go into a bit of, your passing success rate was about 76%. Total passes 485, successful passes 373. What do you got? Passes per 90 minutes, roughly 40. They're just obviously your possession. What are your thoughts on your own performance?
It's I don't I find it hard talking about myself, but yeah, look, we get those stats every week sent to us from each game, and I just wanted to make sure that I improved on my stats each week, and
Yeah.
I think my passing definitely got better. I remember there was a game where my passing accuracy was about 98%. So that's something that I always wanted to do, was make sure that each game I improved. And I think I was a bit disappointed with my game against Victory, with the own goal and a couple of other goals that were caused by me. But there are things that you learn from, and I didn't dwell on that. I just moved on, and you've got to move on as a leader, and you've got to help with the other girls. So I think in that aspect, I thought I did quite well, and wanting to lead the girls as best as I can, and there's still room for improvement with that leadership side. But as in the game, I guess I always find that there's always room for improvement, and I always make sure that I do better each year and each game. So yeah, I'm still happy with a lot of things about my game, but as I said, there's always things to improve, and I want to make sure that I keep getting better numbers in those stats. And I remember I said to Deansy that my tackling rate or something wasn't very high, or I don't make many tackles, and he said to me, "That's a good thing. If you're not tackling, it means you're in a good position." So I guess there's still positives out of all of that.
I suppose it makes it interesting if you're sort of thinking to yourself, you should be making more tackles. He's saying you're doing the right thing. I don't.
Yeah,
Again, I suppose as a player, it just sort of comes down like, well, if I'm not tackling
yeah.
and they've got the ball, I'm in the wrong position, aren't I? Like,
Especially as a centre back, you think you should be
exactly.
tackling all the time.
Yeah, exactly right. Ben, have you got any questions before we keep going?
Okay, so you mentioned earlier about, we well aware of the fact that we don't have any internationals in this season and whatever. And do you think that there is some real strong female talent coming through the Newcastle community?
Yeah, I think so. I think that they're doing a good job with the academy, and I think like we're the only club, W League club, that has an academy for girls or for women. So I think that's big in itself. And having obviously Ash as our assistant this year, and she's involved in the academy coaching the senior girls. So we know that those girls are getting good coaching, um, and yeah, I think especially I have heard and I have seen some of the younger ones, even like the 13s and the 15s age group. There's definitely a lot of good players coming through that age group. So I think we have some exciting times heading forward in the next few years. So it's good to see that these players are doing well now, and hopefully they keep doing well, and can be a big part of our squad in the future.
Yep, and I'm very much a big part of or a big advocate for whatever the men's side of the game has, that the women's should be 100% equal to that. So you mentioned that the Jets have got a W League sort of youth system and a youth pathway. I'm of the opinion that every club should be able to do that.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's important to grow your own talent, and I think that's big for even Australian football and the Matildas. If we can keep growing players like Sam and Caitlin Ford and Haley Razzo, then we're gonna keep improving in the world game. So I think it's got to start at the bottom.
Absolutely, I totally agree with that as well. We'll go back a little bit. You were talking about obviously Deansy. Deansy is a coach. Obviously, we've seen him step up for the men's side on numerous occasions, and done an excellent job. What was he like as a coach?
Yeah, Dean's is awesome. He's a great guy as well. I always give him a bit of shit, to be honest. We have a pretty fun relationship, and he's like that with all the girls, and we will respect him a lot. So I think when you have a coach that you respect and you listen to, and um, he gets the best out of us, I think it's a win-win for everyone. And yeah, no, he's done a really good job with us, and he's stuck by us, and yeah, he's really helped a lot of players, and obviously him being involved in the academy as well is obviously a good thing. The same as Ash. So yeah, no, it's been really good with Deansy. One thing I always say to him is that he made me play centre back, and I'd rather play midfield, but I always said I'd do it for the team, and yeah, no, he's a centre, or he was a centre back as well, so he's definitely helped me with my game a lot.
Was it a big loss when he did step away there at the time when Merrick left? Did you notice? Obviously, I'm sure he would have been coming down to help you guys out as much as he could, but was the presence not being there at all the time a little bit different than usual?
Yeah, it was different not having him. But we've had Ash ever since we've had Deansy as well. So that was a positive for us, knowing that we had someone that we've been around for years to fill in for Deansy.
Yeah.
But as I said, we all get along with Deansy, so we missed his personality and having him around as well. But look, we tried to not let it affect us, and I don't think it did football wise at all.
Yep.
I think we just missed having him around as a person. So obviously you miss him having as a coach as well. But we had Ash, and they still were speaking, and Deansy would still come when he can. And I think we just turned it as a positive and said that he's doing something good for the club, and we want to do him proud by keep winning and doing well. And yeah, he was proud of us. Obviously, as I said, the result wasn't what we wanted, but we still tried. I think that matters as well.
Yeah. Aiden's come in the chat and said, "Who is the hardest worker at training, apart from yourself, obviously?" So yeah, pretty much that's the question there. There's a bit extra, but yeah, who's the hardest? Who's one of the hardest workers at training?
I'm gonna say, even though she's my best friend, but an honest person, I'd say Hannah,
Yeah.
and I think everyone could probably see that in a game, and she's exactly like that at training. So she's a mongrel. She works hard. She gives everything, and that's exactly how she trains, and that's exactly how she plays. So yeah, Hannah's always been a really hard worker, even on and off the field, and I love her energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Josh, your wife is here with some more hard-hitting questions.
Hard hitting.
We're going to start calling her the serial pest. We're taking that title off Vandenberg now.
Jar couldn't wait to get out of there quick enough. No, the wife is very, very passionate about female in sport in general. And what have we got? Seeing you are co-captain, what are your thoughts on women being portrayed or treated in sport compared to the men?
Look, I think it's probably been hard for us for many years. even for example, like working and studying compared to what the men do. We have to go to work, and I know some of the girls in our team worked full time. So, like Tara, for example, she's waking up at 5:30 a.m., going to work, finishing at 3 o'clock, going to training straight after, and then having to go home, have dinner, recover, and then get to bed at a reasonable time to then do it again the next day. So, I think that has been one of the hardest things for us, knowing that we have to do that because we don't earn enough money playing. But to put it in a positive way, we're improving, and I think the way the W League has improved in terms of minimum wage has been really good for us. And I guess if you look at our minimum wage now and you put it over a year, it's about 28 weeks now, or 23 weeks. You put it over a year, it's actually okay. So it's just the fact that it's not a year, which I think in years to come it will get better. But I think we have to just keep doing what we're doing, and we can't change things tomorrow. So I think we just have to keep working towards it. And yeah, look, I always try and be positive, and I think it is what it is, and like obviously it is hard, and I think if everyone can keep doing the right thing and working towards it, and obviously the people at the top like FIFA and FFA and things like that, if they can keep helping drive it as well, I think it will improve.
Yeah, I think one of the positive points to come out of that as well is you'd have to reasonably assume that if we do manage to get the Women's World Cup bid, that the minimum wage for female players in Australia would climb a little bit more, or even still a little bit, like that process will be a little bit more accelerated.
Yeah, I think so too. The more we can keep improving football, and I think if we do get that and we have it here, it's just going to grow it even more. And I think even the numbers from mini roos to seniors will grow as well, knowing that there's going to be so many countries coming here to play football, and I think it will be awesome for us, and hopefully that will then go back down to the W League, and obviously even the NPL, the WPL, and even to grassroots, and it can keep producing more money, and more money means better players and more opportunities.
Yeah, well, that's it. Obviously, even just getting the teams, that's the teams, the countries, other countries out here, it just gives them another, a look on things. You know what I mean? Like obviously, there's 32 teams, in the World Cup this year. The first, or in 2023, sorry, that'll be the first Women's World Cup with 32 teams.
Wow.
So obviously, and that's obviously a lot of countries that, let's be honest, football it's no different to us. It's not the main sport, and it's not women. They're definitely not the main priority. So obviously, it'll give us obviously a bit more of a platform to get some of the better players representing their countries, maybe a look in, and getting them over here where, again, they're probably earning nothing compared to what you guys are, again, which is next to nothing. But as I said, just the publicity of it and getting all the teams out and obviously promoting it more will obviously, as you said, help the women's game massively.
Yeah, exactly.
What else have we got here? Got a few more. Feel free to put them in. Luke said, "What made you play football?"
I actually started when I was 12, so I played netball from the age of 6. My dad was always involved in coaching, and he played when he was younger as well. So ever since I was born, I was around football, so it was in the family. My brother played as well, and yeah, I got to about 12, and netball was not really doing it for me. And I guess they say you need to be tall to play netball, and I'm short, so that was going to be tough. And yeah, I've always just mucked around at school and things like that, and just said to mum and dad one day I want to give football a try, and yeah, there I went.
Suppose on the other side of the coin, you could have turned around to Deansy Centre and say, "Yeah, I can't play centre back. I'm too short."
That is exactly right. So when
I have that
Natasha
problem
Dowie, when Natasha Dowie keeps beating me to headers, then I can just say I'm too short. Sorry.
Sorry, coach.
Yeah,
I know that problem all too well playing as a fullback.
Absolutely. The wife's chiming in again. What do we got now? What are your aspirations and goals with getting young women into the sport? Obviously, leading on with that, you have done. I don't know if you're not doing it now, but you have done a bit of coaching, obviously at Warners Bay, I believe. So yeah, what are you trying to do for the women's game at the junior level?
Yeah, as you said, coaching. When I was younger, I coached some young girls at New Lambton. That's
Mm.
kind of where I first started, and then I went on to coaching at Warners Bay, doing clinics. Then I ended up coaching the first grade at Warners Bay and playing at the same time, coaching the under-17s. Pretty much coached the reserve team as well. So yeah, just giving back to
Yep.
those young players and um, yeah, and helping them as much as I can get to the level that I'm at, and obviously improving on and off the field. And I think a big part of football is, as I said, mentality and hard work. So that's something I always try and enforcing people, and yeah, just giving back to what I know and what I've learned in my experiences. Also, obviously, my job with the Jets has been in schools and coaching kids, so I think that's giving back as well, and trying to improve or even get people to play football or get people to be active. I think all of that counts. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with helping out. And obviously when I'm in jet season, I try and get out into the community as much as I can and represent the club and yeah, just put a smile on kids' faces, and that's
Yep.
all.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. As Ben and I've obviously were talking to you beforehand, obviously the whole 4 month contract thing, we're not going to get into that. But as you were saying, obviously, you're doing this stuff at the schools and everything else. Do you feel yourself that this could probably be brought into to extend, say, that 4 month contract a little bit, maybe even to 6 months, where obviously, you again yourself, you're the co-captain, so you could be out at schools and clinics and stuff like that during the school holidays or whatever. Do you feel that these little things, representing the Jets, obviously, could help a little bit in giving you guys a bit more of a contract and a bit more exposure, I suppose?
Yeah, I think so. There's definitely a lot of things we do during the season, but it can be hard with our schedule as well. So I
Yeah.
guess to put an extra month on each end of that season could help with the promotion and yeah, getting out into schools and doing what we can to promote the Jets and obviously the game as well. Um, but I guess it can be hard with our other seasons with our NPL stuff, just with contracts because you're not allowed to obviously play for another team if you're on contract with the club. So that can be hard as well. So yeah, it just really depends on when the seasons line up if that could work.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Ben, I've seen Aiden posted in there a little bit in regards to the Tessa Tamplin.
Oh, what was going through your head when Tessa scored that goal? The wonder goal.
No. Well, obviously she didn't really mean it. She meant to cross it. And I'm trying to remember if it was that game that she was crossing too deep or something, and I said take it down the line more, like beat people, you've got speed, you can do it. I remember there was one game like that. I can't exactly remember if that was that game, but yeah, then she's gone for a cross and I was thinking the same as what she thought, and then there it goes in the goal. So obviously we'll take that.
Best part about it was she turned her back and she didn't even know it had hit the net
Yeah,
until one of the other Jets players went, no, you just scored.
yeah. Renee, I
She-
think said it to her.
yeah. It was definitely a miss crossed in her head. Anyway, it was that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
So yeah, pretty
so
funny.
it definitely wasn't a Top of Stanley special where they come out and said, "Oh no, he scores bangers like that every week." At training.
Oh
So
no,
you
his
don't
goal
see
was
that.
awesome.
Yeah, it was a goal. So yeah, she doesn't do that stuff every week.
No, she
What
does.
a
She does pull a
reaction.
few out at training, but I just think because she thought it was probably not as good as what she hoped, and but yeah, no, she does score goals at training. She's a good little player.
Yeah, absolutely. She's, as I said, she's going to be an absolute, in my opinion, superstar. Ben, you don't mind watching her
She's one of
play.
my favourites.
He's definitely
Just one of my
definitely
favourites.
definitely gifted. So yeah. So obviously, what's on the agenda? Obviously, you don't really know. Obviously, have you been offered a new contract for next season yet, or is it something? If you haven't, do you want to stay in Newcastle, or have you got other ideas and to better your career?
I think with coronavirus, everything's kind of
Mm,
up in the air at the moment. We don't exactly know what's happening. So, yeah, we haven't been offered anything, but my plan is to stay here and I've want to play as many games as I can for the Jets, and I
yeah,
will definitely want to get to 100. So that's one of
beautiful.
my goals. So yeah, I'm looking to stay here and just keep improving and yeah, hopefully staying involved in that leadership role as well.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. We'd love you to stay, and as I said, you're doing everything right on the pitch, so and as well as the leadership. MPL, the WMPL. What are your thoughts? Are you playing? Well, if the season finally gets underway, are you playing this season? Looking to?
Yeah. So I'm playing for Manly, down
Okay,
in the Sydney comp with Tars.
yeah,
Yeah, I think we're looking to start in a few weeks, which would be good. We played 2 games with them at the start of the season, and I loved it. And I've been traveling down, well before coronavirus, twice a week for training, and back to twice a week starting next week. So it's a big commitment, but I think it's going to improve my game, and the way we play down there is something different to what I've done. So it's good to um, change it up and learn in different ways. And I really enjoy the group of girls there and the club and the coach as well. He's awesome. So yeah, it's been a good change and good challenge for me.
yeah. That was going to be my next question. Obviously, you've seen a number of the Jets girls obviously traveling down to Sydney to play compared to obviously the ones that staying in the local NPL. Um, Why do you think that is? What do you think the biggest? Is there a bigger difference? Is the competition a lot harder and stronger, or what's one of the main reasons for traveling?
Um, Look, I think the WPRP has had a lot of good years, and I think
Mm,
it's getting better. And but for me, I don't know if everyone else is the same or not, but I just wanted to challenge myself and push myself more.
yep,
And I do think that the NPL comp is stronger, and I think a big reason for that is there's just more players
yep,
and there's more people. So like there's a 12 teams in our comp, so that's already shows that there's more numbers down there, and yeah, I think a lot of the W League girls obviously live in Sydney, um, having the Wanderers team and the Sydney FC team as well. So that obviously makes it a stronger competition.
yep,
Um, and yeah, just knowing that you're going to be challenged and every team's hard, and you're going to be pushed. And um, a big reason also for me was traveling down with Tara, Libby, and Sophie, knowing that we could travel together and carpool and yeah, that's obviously a bit of a safety thing as well. You don't want to be driving down to Sydney 3 times a week by yourself at 11
yeah,
p.m. at night.
Yeah.
So yeah, having those girls has been really good, and yeah, I think just a challenge and something different. Get out of your comfort zone.
yeah. No, absolutely. Ben, you got anything to add?
Nothing off the top of my head at the minute.
Nothing off the top
I
of your head
am
at the
I
minute.
am scrowling through the back of my brain for some questions.
um, what's your best? What's the best moment you've had at the Jets so far?
Um, I think when we made the semi-finals that year
Yeah,
would have been how many seasons ago? Maybe 3 seasons ago.
3 years ago. Yeah,
Yeah, that was pretty big moment for me. Yeah, just the season we had, and even the game that we played was crazy. Like Hannah getting sent off and
yeah,
being down 2-0, coming back to 2-2 with 10 players, and um, yeah, it was incredible to play in that type of game with that adrenaline and intensity, because I think that makes it exciting and pushes you more, and you have to work harder as well being down to 10 players. So yeah, that was a big moment for me. obviously I love walking out, and being a captain as well is something that I always remember. And um, but yeah, we've had a few years of struggle, so there's not too many good moments like semi-finals and grand finals, but hopefully in years to come we can experience that.
Absolutely. Your thoughts on playing at number two? Obviously, it's obviously been said that you guys would prefer to play there than obviously at the main stadium. Um, what do you other than obviously the size and everything else? And again, you can get half the number of people there, and it looks packed. Um, but what's the biggest difference you find playing on, say, number two sports ground compared to the main stadium for yourself?
Probably similar to what you just said about the numbers. And I think we get people at our game at number two that want to come to the game because that's what they're obviously coming for. Whereas you may get people at the men's game that come to watch the men and watch 10 minutes of us and then leave.
Yeah.
So we're bringing in that crowd of people that want to support us and want to watch. So um, that also is a big thing. And then obviously having a smaller stadium means you can hear people more. It drives you to play better, and um, gives you that bit of a boost. And yeah, the vibe at number two is just really good, to be honest. Having that
Excellent.
small stadium, and the field's good, facilities are good. But yeah, that's probably the main thing for me.
No, absolutely. Well, we'll start wrapping it up, and gee, I've got just a couple more questions myself. Ben and you guys in chat, feel free if you have anything else to add.
There's one in here about the takeover, but we'll leave that one alone.
Takeover.
We'll leave that alone for the moment.
I was going to say, I don't think really anyone really knows about the takeover except for probably Laurie and Martin Lee, I guess. So we'll just if it happens, obviously it'll be a good thing, just for the simple fact that
the people out there in
Sydney
chat land, when we know, you'll know.
That's exactly right.
That's basically what it is. I don't want to speculate prior to it.
No, exactly right. As I said, at the end of the day, the biggest advantage out of that is the fact that they are Sydney based. So if that happens, obviously they're local, which is a big thing in my opinion compared to someone who's overseas. Not that Martin Lee's done anything wrong, in my opinion.
Problem with them being local is that they're from Sydney.
Yeah.
Rival.
Yeah. As
exactly.
Long as they're in Sydney and not Gosford or
yes,
this side of Sydney. We'll be
right side of Swansea.
Absolutely, but yeah, we'll leave that for when we're finished. Now you've said that, Ben, I totally forgot. Totally forgot what I was going to ask you. Your own ambitions. Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
5 years' time, I'll be 31. So hopefully still playing would be nice. And yeah, hopefully teaching and getting my life on track. But you know, I hope I'm still playing, and even if it's not at W League level, it's at an NPL or a WPL level. And yeah, that's something obviously that I love, so I want to do it for as long as I can.
Well, we hope you're still playing at 31, because the both of us are 31 and we're bearded, filled with children, and do a podcast twice a week.
I'm still playing though, Ben. Just relax.
I can't anymore.
Play a coach. Trust me. You said it before. Play a coach. It's
My legs gave out at 29. That was it.
I don't know how people do it. I can't play and coach. It's just terrible. You're trying to discipline and
it is hard.
All you want to do is just try and get in there and do the drills yourself. But it's a pain in the backside. It was a last minute. We need a coach. Do you want to do it? I'll help the team out, right?
Did you ask me to be your assistant? And I said no.
I just needed you to.
I don't have the time, mate.
Bloody soft. Anyway, there was one more that I had.
What's it like to play for Newcastle?
I love it. I think playing for your hometown you can't get any better than that. Knowing that everyone there, like obviously knows you as a person as well, and your family and friends get to come and watch. So it's yeah, it's a great club to play for, and I love it. Obviously, I'm going to be staying here for as long as they want me, so they must be doing something good.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, I've pretty much just got one last one for you, and it's pretty well into the women's side of things. Is just if what do you feel the two things are needed in the women's game?
I think promotion
Yeah.
and money.
Simple.
If there's money, you can do lots of things. You can promote. You can build better facilities. You can there's loads of things you can do with money, as everyone would say. But yeah, I think we just need to keep being promoted as much as possible and keep getting our name and our brand out there.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. Money's king, and if you've got plenty of it, it helps. Just ask Melbourne City.
Yeah, exactly.
I swear, it's the only reason bloody Emily Van Egmont left. In my opinion, I'm like, she wouldn't have left otherwise.
Yeah, but trust me, I've seen the facilities down there. They are amazing. They've just rebuilt them all.
We had Raleigh on last week, and as she said, it's coming from Newcastle to going down there, it's completely different. You know what I mean? It is, again, it's one of those things when you've got money and money helps, and you get these little bit extras that you may not get at other clubs. And that's
money helps, mate, but it will not give Melbourne City a beach.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, it's given them not the men, but it's given them titles. So
well,
you're doing something right. But anyway, have you got anything before we let Cass go and enjoy the rest of a Thursday night? You there, mate?
I'm here.
Oh.
We might have lost a Cass.
Cass, you there?
I'm here.
No, she's here.
I don't know what happened there. I was asked a question and then everyone just went silent.
Sorry, I didn't know you were asking me a question.
No, I was asking Ben. I was just saying, is there anything else, Ben, you want to add before we let Cass go?
Luke's gone in here going 3 things is a W League F3 derby. 100%.
Oh, yes.
Mariners need a women's team.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So we can beat them 8-2 as well.
Or Wellington.
Yeah. Well, word on the street is that they're looking to put one in.
They are looking to put one in, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that article as well.
Yeah.
I think it might. I think it's a lot to do with the joint World Cup bid.
Yeah, fair.
But I think it's something that they need, and it's something that they can, like even again at the moment. Let's be honest, the season isn't long enough.
Yeah.
And for what the season is, they could bring the whole squad out to Australia and play it at Gosford. They haven't got a team. But set them up there and be done with it. So I said it's only like how many rounds is it? 12 rounds? Probably 13 rounds, something like that.
Yeah, 12.
Yeah.
12 rounds. It's not long enough.
Or 12 games, 14 rounds.
Oh yeah, that's right. You got both the buys.
You're not forgetting about the buys. So. And that's it. They need to eliminate.
You can't have a buy. You can't have a buy in a league with like 12 games.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
Something so top level. If you got your WMPLs and stuff like that, don't have buys. Your top women's tree has a buy in it. It's just. But anyway, another topic, another story. But anyway, other than that, you've got nothing, Ben?
No, nothing, mate.
No problem at all. We do thank you, Cass, for jumping on. It is muchly appreciated. We also thank you for everything you are currently doing for the Newcastle Jets, and may it continue into years beyond. And yeah,
Laurie, get the paperwork drafted.
Yeah, get it on the press. Absolutely. You don't let women who want to be here. You do not let them go.
Exactly. Very quick question in by Aiden. Who do you support any overseas teams, and who are they?
Manchester United.
Oh, ouch.
Ouch.
Yeah, okay. It's all right. It's all right.
Who do
You've
you
had your
guys
fun.
support?
I'm a Liverpool fan, so
Yeah,
praying for
okay.
Chelsea win tomorrow so we can win the league.
I'm Birmingham City.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So
Absolutely.
what's a Premier League is generally the question.
Sorry.
What's a Premier League is generally the question. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while, mate. It's been a while. But
Yeah.
no, honestly, we thank you for jumping on, Cass. It's much
No worries. Thanks
Very
for
much
having me on, you
appreciated.
guys.
Be sure everyone in the chat, be sure to, as we said the other week with Tara, no different. Make sure you guys get down and support the girls. It is very important. You know, as I said, if they're a number 2 sports ground, if the canteen's open, you're paying next to nothing for beers there. We used to be next to nothing when I used to go there and watch football.
It's a more wholesome atmosphere. It's more close.
Absolutely, that's it. You're at the front of the fence.
That's
Sit
right.
around the fence and whatever.
You're
it is.
right.
As
You're
I said,
right in the action.
That's it.
That's it. The girls need everyone, as many people there as they can, obviously, to cheer them on, and it always helps. As I said, if they're playing before the men, or if they're lucky enough, in my opinion, hopefully to play after the men, which I think they should do more of that if they are doing the double headers, just because everyone's there. I think you'll get more numbers that way than, as you said, they come in like, oh, correct, the game starts in 15 minutes. We'll watch the last 5 minutes of the girls. As they dwindle in, is where if everyone's there, they're more inclined, hopefully, to stay. But yeah, be sure, guys, as I said, to get down to the girls next season, to support them and cheer them on. And we wish you, hopefully, the contract comes through and you are with us next year. We wish you the best of luck next season.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
No worries.
No, thank you.
See you later.
See you later.
Bye.
Well, there we have it, guys. Very much thanks to Cass for jumping on and having a bit of a chat in regards to the season gone, and obviously, hopefully for her, next season to come as well. So, mate, we've got that out of the road. 8:09. We've got a little bit of time. The boys were talking about takeovers. We'll talk a little bit about the male Jets before we do sign off here. We've seen some interesting things lately. Interesting things.
In what way, my friend?
In what way? Every single possible way. How good would it be, in my opinion? No disrespect to anyone else. And again, I love him to bits, and I'm happy for him to stay if he wants to. But could you just picture it, Ben? Picture it. Topper Stanley, Indian royalty. Could you imagine that?
I can't.
This 6'5", the long-haired, somewhat defender, who scores bombs in the Indian Premier League. Whatever Del Piero can do, Topper can do.
You know what, mate? You'll never hear it. You know why? Because the Indian Premier League don't get any coverage over here. Otherwise, we would have been seeing nothing for the next for the past 5 years of Eric Patalu scoring bombs in the Indian Premier League. You don't hear it. You don't hear it.
Who was the Kiwi that went over there last year?
Krishna.
Krishna, and he was a gun.
Exactly, he's a gun. But half the A League population probably didn't even realise that the Indian Premier League existed until Krishna had a move there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You never hear anything about it.
He's opened doors to
Patalu's been there for years. Patalu's been there for donkeys, mate. But again, they're short seasons.
Yeah, exactly right.
Pretty sure the A League season is longer than the Indian Premier League.
Think of the money, though. Why would you wouldn't be going there for how long the season is.
All right, you say think of the money. I'll counteract that point by going think of the lifestyle. Ain't no beaches.
So?
Exactly. I'm with Luke. He won't leave. But it seems like everybody's being linked with the Indian Premier League at the moment.
Yeah, because they're getting underway, apparently. And at the same time, they can most likely at this point, the way things are going, they could be over there, play the season, get paid a mozza, and then come back before the new one starts.
Nah,
So,
I don't think it'll happen.
Oh, look, mate.
Bombs will, not bongs.
Get your mind out of it, Will. Look, let's be honest. Like, again, we don't see it happening. When you put things like India talk with blokes like Lafondra and Berisha, you're taking the piss.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a stooge. I saw the article that you're trying to reference here, and it's stoogey as.
That's it, but that's what I'm saying. Like friggin' India and possible talks with Lafondra and Berisha. Like they are two. And I'm talking.
Bez won't leave.
That will not be going to India.
Bez won't leave.
No way.
Bez won't leave. He loves it here.
Berisha, no way. No way.
He won't leave.
He was scrambling to get back into the freaking A League.
Yeah.
He was itching to find a club.
Yeah, he knew he wouldn't have an issue finding one, but he wanted to come back to Australia. He'd had enough.
No, absolutely. What have you got? How good is potato bake? I don't know. Depends on
the question you should be asking is how good is Julie's potato bake? Because I'm pretty sure your mum jumped in the chat and offered one for Cass as well. Your mum is gonna have like a table full of Jets W League players one day. We're just gonna walk in there. We'll go up there for a trip or whatever. Walk into your mum's house, and half a W League side's gonna be sitting at your mum's kitchen table with lasagna and pasta bake, potato bake. And we're just gonna sit here and go.
Excuse me.
All right.
That's pepper.
No, let's not bring that joke up. We did that one last week.
That's pepper with a side of lasagna. That's
your mum's gonna end up. Your mum's gonna end up with the catering contract for number 2 Sports Ground. I'm telling you, boy.
Hey, she'll be the one on the hill, friggin' sinking tinnies.
After she's fed them all.
Absolutely. But obviously, let's talk a little bit about the Jets. We haven't really done much about it. We haven't really done much in regards to doing it, which has been good. In all honesty, it's been great. Not having to sit here and just talk.
Look, I can poke him in the face.
Don't poke me in the face. Stop it. You fly.
Isn't the internet and what you can do on the internet wonderful?
It's not bloody wonderful. But let's talk a little bit of football. Obviously, in your opinion, I think it's been great that we haven't had to. Because let's be honest, it's been pretty average, and they'd be like 15, 20-minute shows otherwise. Because
we'd be better off not even bothering.
Exactly right.
When will Laurie be on? When he's not so busy,
mate. When either I reckon there's 3 possible answers to that. I reckon. When the takeover happens, and I mean it happens, it's been dealt with, and if it happens, we're probably looking at about 2 to 3 weeks after the takeover.
Mm-hmm.
Because there'll be paperwork for days and everything else,
and he won't be able to talk about it, so we don't even ask.
So that's number 1. 2, obviously, if it all goes to shit. And it doesn't happen, and it's completely dead and buried, and no chance of resurrecting the situation. So that, and 3, once the season's underway.
Yeah,
poor
bloke don't have 5 minutes to scratch his ass at the moment, let alone.
I can't imagine getting Laurie on. I'd love to get Laurie on for say 10 minutes, but getting him on for 10 minutes even
is difficult at the moment.
It's. At the end of the day, I have asked a couple of times and everything else, and he's kindly said, "Look, mate, when I find 5 minutes,
you can have it.
I'll give you the 5 minutes." So I'm not pestering him. I'm not going to bombard him with anything. It's when it happens, it happens. Yes, we definitely want to try and get him back on to talk a little bit about it. Obviously, we know we can't talk much about the takeover, but
if at all,
just in general, how's everything going? As I said, the coaches, the coaches were meant to be here last week, but they're not even here yet. They're not even in the country.
Mm.
And then once the boys hit the country, which Laurie said that he hopes to be
This weekend.
The weekend Monday-ish.
They're still going to do 14 days.
They then have to do 14 days quarantine. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's chaos. It's absolutely chaos just trying to get them over here and everything else. And then when as I said, when they finally get here, they still can't do anything unless somebody stands out there with a bloody friggin' TV and puts it on Zoom or something. And
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
I probably wouldn't either.
I would not be surprised.
Oh, no. There'd be plenty of video communications and sit down.
Oh, of course. There'd be FaceTime calls and Zoom calls and all sorts of stuff going back and forth.
That's it. It'd be like school.
They've been doing it already, more than likely.
There'd be a whiteboard in Carl's room and in his bedroom or whatever it is. Right?
And Kenny Miller's in the next bedroom as well.
That's it. They're probably on the same plane. They're probably pairing together, to be fair. It's probably...
Okay, so I understand. All right, here's one thing that I want to say about the takeover, right? Yeah. People are all up in arms about it, and they reckon it's the best thing since sliced bread.
The takeover?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm very much on the fence. Because some of the things that okay, I'd love a new set of owners to come through to financially help the club. But do you realise that people like Laurie as CEO might not stay as CEO if that becomes the case?
Correct.
Just because the new owners have come in, they can install their own board. They can install their own CEO, which means Laurie is out of a job. It's also the change at the club. Laurie and Martin have always been so much so of the case of that the Jets are very much a community-driven club. If that's not how the new owners want to perceive things, that's all out the window, boys. This is where I'm not comfortable with the takeover because it can and may reshape the club. It's one of those. It can reshape the club. Yeah, okay. The fortunes on the pitch may benefit, but the entire club itself, from what we know it now as its community club, that may not be the case anymore. Which I think is more of a loss than the... Okay, so I'm thinking about the club as a whole when I make this statement, not just the results on the pitch, because as football people, that's generally all they're concerned with. They don't care how it happens as long as it happens. But... Your mum's yelling at you. But yeah, I'm looking at it from a whole club perspective. I like the direction that the current owners have for the club and it being a community club, and I like the people that are involved and what they are doing with the club and the direction they are taking the club. But again, lads, as much as the takeover can be a good thing, it could also change a lot of things.
The biggest thing for me in the whole scenario, as you said, is the fact that they're Australian owners.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, and as I said, and as you said, it's 100% correct. The fact that they are just down the road is great in regards to, obviously,
logistics.
If they need something, if they need to be here, if there's dramas going on, or they need to fix things, or friggin' there's rifts in the club in general. They don't have to worry about doing it via Zoom. They can come down the friggin' the F3 and be here in an hour and a half or whatever and nip it in the bud. All that's fantastic. All that is great and 100% what we need. But as you said, the biggest thing is these guys are Australian based. They can bring in any CEO they feel fit. They can bring in coaching staff. They can bring in... So you can't imagine, right? You can't imagine these guys who are going to come over, if they do take over the club, to have no idea about football.
Apparently they are well versed in the football community.
Correct.
From the articles that I've read.
Oh, absolutely.
But again, they might have a different way of doing things to what are currently in place.
Look, the biggest thing is, as I said, I'm sure everyone has their speculations. I have my speculations of who it is, but things like that I'm not going to say on here because, if frickin' the most ridiculous,
it pushes into the realm of journalism, which means we can get in trouble if we open mouths.
Yeah, again, the thing is, the simple fact is, if my speculation is a correct speculation, I'll be like, oh shit, that was a good guess.
This bloke on this dinky podcast.
The blokes, mate. Yeah, look at told you. So yeah, I'm not going into that, and everyone can make their own speculations of who it is. And the biggest thing, as Ben said, the biggest thing is it's a great thing, but it can also be a downside as well. It's no different to Tinkler. There's not, you can't tell me, Aiden, Luke, everyone, Chris, everyone who's been in here, you cannot tell me when they frigging come out and stated that Nathan Tinkler was going to take over the club, you honestly thought that was a bad decision. Here comes a bloke who is well known to the Newcastle community, has billions of dollars, has a very high interest into sport. You can't sit there and tell me you thought that was going to go to shit. There's no way. I didn't think. I thought it was the right thing to do. Like, at that point, anything was the right thing to do.
Everybody sees the dollar signs and goes cha-ching.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm saying as in, like, did I think it was going to last? No. Did I think he was going to bring in experts and stuff like that? No. But what I knew he was going to bring in with that money was things that the club had never seen before. And he did. You can't tell me, especially the guys, Aiden and that, you're a young kid then, Luke, yeah, well, you honestly can't tell me that we would have had the likes of David Beckham and the LA Galaxy out here if he didn't take over that club.
No, never.
There's no way.
No.
Not a chance. Not a chance. There's no freaking way. His head was in the right place. But as Branko stated on the interview, as soon as the opportunity came up to bring the Knights into the scenario, we were straight on the back burner.
Yeah.
And that's where we sat.
We were not what he wanted.
No, of course we weren't what we wanted. Absolutely not. He was gunning for the Knights, and he wasn't shy about it. He made that very public, and he stated, I wanted the Knights. And if I take the Jets as well, happy days.
Yeah.
But, Alex, how are you, buddy?
Hello, mate.
Just talking about the whole takeover scenario. But yeah, as you said, you're 100% right. It could be. It could be. If these guys come in and they change nothing straight away. With
happy days.
That, good thing. Good thing. If they change it 6 months down the track, good things. That's fine. Right? The biggest thing is they can't come. As long as they come in and they see how it is and give it a go, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I just don't want people to come in and then just go, here you go.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah.
I've got 20 new blokes coming in. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that causes more bad than good.
And that's not because obviously we have a strong relationship with Laurie, and I feel that the guys at Joel Griffiths and everything else are doing the right things. I just think you can't come in and taking over a club. You've got to give the guys that are there the chance.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the season, depending on when they take it over, they see out that season, and then after that season, they can sit back and go, right, that didn't work.
Yeah, but and here's the other side of the coin as well. They may be happy with the way that the club is being run at the moment.
Yeah.
And they are just basically becoming the new financial beneficiaries.
As
The
I said,
club,
I
the
don't
club
think-
structure itself might not even change a single wink. If anything, if they're happy with the way that the club is being run, the only thing that will change is they will instill a few of their people onto the board. That's it.
Absolutely.
The
Absolutely.
CEO will remain the same. The team will remain the same. All the staff will remain the same. They may just be taking over the financial burden that Martin can't afford to shoulder anymore.
That's it. At the end of the day,
If that's the case, then I'll be 150% on board with the takeover. If they're going to come in and basically march 95% of the club out the door, then this podcast won't be so much a dinky podcast anymore. It will be a very vocal one on my behalf.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Again, I'm not, if that's the thing. If they come through and they change it 6-12 months down the track, fine with it.
Yeah.
If it works. But I don't want them coming in and then changing it instantly. Because they're coming into a club that they know nothing about.
If that happens, you can write off the season.
Oh, absolutely.
Write it off.
Absolutely. Then becomes a mass rebuild. But at the same time, they can't do it. They can't. They just can't come in and if they come in and they leave it as is for whatever it may be. If they come through the end of the season, if they come through this week,
yeah,
right. In all honesty, this is the best time for them to be coming in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, if we can get them over the line now, fantastic. Because right now they can't afford to get rid of anybody.
Yeah,
because no one's coming in. They can't get anyone in, and if they take it over, and I'm sure this is probably why Laurie and that are trying to get it done.
Yeah.
Because let's get it done before this remainder of the season starts, and let's give these guys a look at what they've got for the 6 games or whatever it is, and then even then I'll be happy. If things change for the next season,
yeah.
If they were to come in now, they let the boys stick it out, and see what they've got. If Carl gets everything right and he gets us into the semi-finals miraculously, it's not going to guarantee anybody a safe passage for next season.
Oh, of course not.
But it helps.
Yeah.
It then makes the season.
G'day, Timmy.
Hey, Timmy. It makes them obviously sit back and go, "Oh well, shit, not going too bad. That's pretty good."
Keep it the way it is. Let's not upset the harmony.
Yeah, absolutely. Because let's be honest, we are a bunch of it as fans. We're definitely not the supporter group to go quietly. That's for sure. So we will kick up a stink, and they will damn well know about it. That's a given. So at the end of the day, we need to wait. We need to see what happens. And that's all we can really do on the note. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If that's what you wanted to hear, but you want to have a quick chat about the.
I just personally speaking, I hope that the only thing that changes is that the financial burden moves from Martin to the Sydney businessmen. If they so do take the club, that's it. I'm happy with the way that the club is being run as a supporter. I mean, again, I'm only one supporter who works on a dinky podcast, but you know what I mean. Like, there's not a lot that's wrong with the way that the club is being run
that we know about.
From what we can see, and we see a little bit better than what most do. There's no reason to pick up and make wholesale changes. I can't see a reason where that would be financially beneficial. At all to a new set of owners. But again, I don't work in the world of big business. I'm just a dude that loves his football team.
Absolutely. It's just one of those things where we'll have to, at the end of the day, guys, as we said, when we know, you'll know. Trust me. Because if we know before you know, it's a fucking minute before.
There'll be this shit'll be wrapped up in
We've,
NDAs.
we've looked at Facebook before you have. That's
Yeah. All this shit'll be wrapped up in NDAs. Nobody will know anything until the media know.
no. Until you see these guys front a press, you got no idea.
If it even exists.
Look, it exists.
If it even exists.
What do you mean?
Well, there's no evidence to say that it does exist, and there's no hard evidence to say that it doesn't exist.
The contract talks.
The takeover in general. There's no hard media either side confirming nor denying it.
Oh, look. As I said, as you've said, we are lucky enough to, know a little bit more than others.
Mm-hmm.
Laurie has come out and personally said that there's talks.
Yeah, there's talks.
He has not said that it's happening. He has not said that it's going to happen, or whatever.
And if it does, it could be 12 months off.
Oh yeah, there's no fucking time frame. All he has virtually stated is that yes, we are currently talking to some business owners.
Yeah.
And
there are parties interested.
Absolutely. And the biggest thing is though, right? It doesn't matter how interested these boys are. Right? It does not matter. The prime example is, and what a lot of you guys have to realize is, it comes down to Martin Lee. He will not sell the Newcastle Jets unless he gets a minimum of what he put into that club. And he turned down a $12 million offer 6 months ago.
12 and a half.
So, which is more than what he freaking paid for.
Paid for it. He's looking for 15.
Yeah. So he's
not counting if he holds on to it for another 12 months.
He don't care. For him, and as I said, that's the biggest thing is what you got to realize. Whoever does take over it next, and I'm talking 10 years down the track if Martin Lee stays there for that long.
Yeah.
Whoever takes over the club next will be no different to any other past owner.
Mm.
If you are here to make money,
don't be here.
You are the wrong person for the club.
Mm-hmm.
If you are here to invest money, which you will claim back on tax as a tax write-off per se, absolutely you are the right person here because you know that you are going to put more money into the club than what you will get back a tax on.
Look, and in saying that as well, I don't think Martin come in buying the Jets to see it be a money-making venture. I don't think he was that owner. He was here to invest, okay, and he was here to recoup, but I don't think he was here to recoup 100% of it.
He was definitely here to make money.
He was never going to get it. And Laurie would have been straight with him when he said that. You will not make money here.
Well, he has. He will make profit easily. Especially if he's not going to sell it for anything under $15 million. Which
$15 million's breaking even.
Next to nothing. No.
It's breaking even.
He didn't pay 15 for it.
No, but he wants to recoup what he has put in. That's why it is 15 million, because that's his break even.
Even then,
that's the break even point.
Well, okay. It's not. It's not a break even point because he hasn't put millions and millions into the club. He hasn't.
If we want to go by what the media has said, and the numbers that the media have put out, I'm going back to your thing of it's in the paper. From what the media said, his total outlay, including the purchase of the club, totals up to 15. And he's come out and said that he wants no less than 15. That is break even. He's not making, he's not losing.
Yeah. But I'm telling you as a
Will he get 15? No. That's ludicrous.
Yeah, as I said, as a non-journo,
boxing match. It's not a boxing match.
No, It's one of those
It's
things
just the
where
first time on the podcast
only-
It's just the first time on the podcast that you two co-hosts have had a difference of opinion. That's what it is.
Been here for it. This is what the podcasts are like. If we are just sitting here talking, and no one else is communicating.
And contrary to popular beliefs, lads, we are two different people. And yes, guess what? You are now witnessing for the first time live on stream me and Josh having a difference of opinion. It happens.
It's not even so much a difference of opinion. It's yes, they have said $15 million. That I'm not saying that, but as you said, the biggest thing you said media, and I'm telling you as a non-media person, and who has nothing to do with the media or anything like that, and you work it out in your head.
Yeah, I'm looking at it from the average Joe who's reading it from the quote unquote media.
Absolutely. You think of it as a that sort of thing. We made it to Asia.
Right? Oh, as a non-media person, more.
Right?
He sunk more.
Sweet. It's not hard. Go through the interviews with Laurie.
Yeah, I mean,
that's easy. He lost $8 million by just putting the team into the ACL and getting nothing out of it. Just putting our name in, going to Asia, and getting beat cost us $8 million, and we got nothing back.
Aside from exposure. Yeah, one of you likes Caramel Maxi Buns and the other one likes Caramel Magnum Egos. Guess what, Aiden? I don't like caramel at all.
I was going to say, if you like...
I don't like caramel at all.
I'm an ego, man.
King hate caramel. Sorry. For our American friends, sorry, Timmy. Caramel.
Yeah. Friggin' caramel. It's literally, it's just one of those things. It's, if you want to put it from a journo's point of view, or you sort of sit back as a fan and do the maths. He bought the club for nowhere near $15 million.
No, he paid 7.
Huh?
7.
Yeah. So, right.
It's not worth double. It's not worth double what he paid.
Right. So,
Josh has been doing some math googling.
Absolutely, Matt. It's not math googling. It's journo shit, right?
What? You're a journo?
No. It's journo googling. Let's see what the flogs have got to say. Where did I just see it before? Where are you?
He paid what? 7.5 or something? 6.5? Something like that. But you can't tell me that 4 years later that the club is worth double what he paid.
Okay, here we go. So you're talking about breaking even, right?
Mm.
So, and this isn't on Google. This is friggin' not going to say this right.
No, name the source. Public domain.
Martin Lee bought the club for $5.5 million.
Right? There. I knew it was a 0.5.
$5.5 million. They are talking roughly about they reckon that he has roughly put into the club around $15 million.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do the maths. That would be
It's $20.5
million. So if he's selling the club for $15 million, he is still at a loss.
Yeah.
Right? And that's just the basics. You add everything else into it and shit like that. He spent more than $15 million.
Okay. In saying that, how long has he owned? 4 years?
This is his fourth year.
You can't tell me that in nearly 4 years that the club has more than doubled in its value.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
So, as far as I can tell, anyone who's going to pay, even you know what? I think after seeing that, Martin should think himself lucky that getting an offer of 12 is good. You're paying any more than that. That is ludicrously overpriced for an A League side. Ludicrous. Jesus Christ, Western United probably took less to set up than that.
Right. So let's go back into the whole scenario, right? We'll go back to the takeover of these two Sydney businessmen. Now, Laurie came out and said that if this takeover happens, when is it likely to happen?
Yeah.
His words, weeks, more likely than months.
Yeah, so sooner rather than later.
Right, so we're talking weeks.
Yeah, because Martin doesn't want to get into the next season.
He's personally come out and said that Martin Lee has drawn up his shit, and it is currently with the new business owners, if they
the consortium,
lawyers.
Consortium.
It's with their lawyers.
Yeah.
So if it's with their lawyers, these guys are keen.
Obviously, but obviously, in that case, obviously the consortium has already done its 2 to 3 months worth of due diligence.
Yeah.
So this is obviously long in the pipeline.
So yeah,
we're just hearing about it now.
But what the thing is, right? Martin Lee sends his shit through. It then goes through to these guys' lawyers. The lawyer comes back and goes, "This is what go. If you're happy, sign the freaking paperwork." They sign the paperwork. Deal not done.
No.
Deal not done. They then have to take that signed paperwork and then throw that under the FFA's nose.
Yeah, and then the FFA has to then.
If they're not happy,
it goes back.
Happen.
Andy.
But he said, if it goes to Football Federation Australia for approval, all being well, I'm confident it would be done before the start of next season.
Yeah.
Right? Which brings it back to you. He wants out before the start of the season, which is...
Yeah, so he doesn't have to fork in the yearly cost for the season.
Absolutely. So what is it? Decline to devalue the selling price of the identity of the businessman? Businessman, not businessman, men.
So is it a person or a consortium?
From what I believe, I believe there is a main man.
Yeah.
But then I believe he...
So a man and his consortium.
He has mates. Yeah.
Yeah, he has a consortium.
But he believes to be well in excess of the $5.5 million Lee paid for the club in 2015. He's a businessman and a football guy, Lincoln has said about the prospective owner.
That's interesting.
In the region, and he believes in what the city and the club can do.
Can do or stand for?
Club can do.
Mm-hmm.
I can assure everybody that the club will not be moving anywhere. It is the Newcastle Jets for a reason. I first spoke to him before the pandemic. This has been going for a while.
Yeah, of course. It would have had to have.
Late last year.
Yeah, because they have to do months' worth of due diligence.
Yeah, of course. I can answer. Television will not be spoke before the thought. He believes in the vision of the club, what we want to do in the area, and what we want to do in the A League.
Okay, so that to me...
Put everyone's mind at ease from that. He's happy with what the club's current staff are doing.
That's how we interpret it.
If that's correct.
Yeah.
If that's the case, the chances of not much movement in staff would be likely.
So it goes back to what I said, that it on paper, from what we're reading into now and how we are interpreting this information that is given to us, is that it's very much just a change of financial burden. That's all it is. That's how I read what you've just read to me. Is that he's happy with what the club is, he's happy with the direction of the club and how the club is run, and how the club that is run, and it's just basically a transfer of financial burden from offshore Martin Lee to new Sydney businessman.
Hey, Andy. Yeah. McKinnon, who's previously held talks with groups, from Russia, Saudi Arabia, Vietnam, the UK, and the US.
Mm-hmm.
Said the sale would involve an upfront payment followed by several installments over the
Yeah. That's the article that I read the other day about it.
You're not going to friggin' expect people for $15 million. Yeah, there you go. Here's a chip. Some people probably can, but
Yeah. It's not like it's Fenway Sports Group.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, at the end of the day, look, if it happens, it happens. There's a lot of shit here. There's heaps of stuff about it. So they just have around $2 million in operational debts to clear, and McKinnon said any shortfall will be taken into account as part of the sale.
Okay, yeah.
So which means the club will become debt free. Don't
put your hand in front of the camera.
What? All right.
Yes, because you can't see your face. You cover the camera.
You want to pick your nose?
No. I've already had to turn my camera off twice and disappear out of the room to deal with children.
Oh, really?
You didn't notice?
Well, no, because I'm not looking at the live stream.
Oh, okay.
I'm not looking at it live, so I've got.
Yeah, I've had to disappear twice to go tell Isabel to shut up.
Oh, beautiful. I've actually been really.
And you never would have known.
Well, that's it, Luke. That's it. It's just a waiting game.
It's just in the case of Martin, it's not long now until
he's gone.
Oh, you can't hear it.
What?
Well, I pushed the he's gone button.
No, we gotta hear it. Yeah, just have to wait and see, I guess. But that's it. At the end of the day, from what we're hearing, if you know, again, we're lucky enough that we can pretty well rely on Laurie's word.
What he can tell us legally.
No, I mean even with that journalism. By the start of next season, we are most likely going to have new owners.
Yeah,
most likely, not guaranteed. Most likely, and when it happens, it happens. We'll see what happens. We'll deal with it then, not now. Then
there's not much we can do or say more about it.
No, that's exactly it. And that's exactly it. So at the end of the day, if it happens, it happens. If he comes in, he's here for the right reasons. Happy days. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't come down to Laurie McKinnon and it doesn't come down to Joel Griffiths or anyone else. At the end of the day, no one's bigger than the club. And we want the club to sit and stay exactly where it is. We don't want it moving anywhere, as Laurie said. We don't want it going anywhere. We want it to grow. We want it to be bigger than what it is.
FFA will block that anyway.
And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. And that's all that should matter as a Jets fan.
Yeah. The club won't move. The FFA won't let it.
What?
If they moved the club.
Oh, there's no way.
The FFA would never allow it.
No.
FFA would never allow it.
Not a chance. No. Not again. Not while we're still getting okay numbers. There's no way.
No, even still they won't because it blows their expansion plan out the water. Because they'll probably end up wanting to move it to a region that they have laid out for expansion plan.
Exactly.
They won't do that.
No, you're 100% correct. You're 100% correct. But
it's the first proper news about a takeover.
Yeah.
That's just journal.
Absolutely.
That's journos getting you sucked into their article. That's all it is.
And at the end of the day, as Laurie said again on numerous of our podcasts, there has been heaps of talk. So many people have come in asking. So many rejected offers have come in. So it's not the first.
And this isn't just limited to us. This is probably every other A League club in existence.
Absolutely.
You just don't hear about it.
Yeah,
I mean, who did you hear before the Jets won? Tony Sage's apparent one with that crypto mob.
Oh yeah, the crypto mob, yeah, in Perth there. Exactly.
I don't even think that one got 3/4 of the way friggin' as far as what the media reported it to.
Yeah, no, exactly right. But at the end of the day, it's a waiting game. We'll see what happens. For me, it's irrelevant. That's next year's problem, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
we need to get the boys on the pitch. We need to get the boys playing.
We need to finish this season.
And We need to get Carl and Kenny and friggin' everyone else back here and getting the team moving forward. Whether that's bringing more people in player-wise, whether that's friggin' signing or getting people signed up on contracts.
Aiden, I'd go with number 1 Sports Ground.
In fact, we have around about 10.
It's got nothing to do with how many members we have. It's clearly obvious that, a good 50% of them don't come to games.
I've got no problem moving some of our games away from Energy Australia Stadium. Hunter Sports, whatever.
I don't think they should go to number 2.
Whatever. No, I don't think they should go to number 1.
Because number 2 is the women's home.
No, number 2 is too small. It's too small.
But number 2 is the women's home.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
They fought for that. They've got it now. We're not taking it back. We're not taking over it.
There's no way the men will play at number 2 Sports Ground.
No.
It would be a bloodbath. You wouldn't be able to move. It's too small. It's like 6,000 people.
Yeah.
We'd fill that. I'm more on the talks of possibly going towards your Port Macquaries or your, what do you call it? Get it into your regional sort of players.
Like they used to do.
Yeah, exactly right. So
it's all right. You can't see her.
What was I going to say? But yeah, anyway, that's regardless. Number 1 is getting upgraded to host Big Bash, cricket, and AFL games. Yeah, which they've had AFL games like before. My wife's just frigging embarking me shit. This is where Ben would be up and frigging going ape shit, turning his mic off, going, fuck off!
Mine wouldn't even be in the room, mate.
Yeah, well, yeah, they know. But yeah, Dubbo, yeah, places like that, absolutely.
Yeah, Coffs.
Melbourne City in Coffs, yeah, exactly. It works. It works. They need to do those sort of things because they need to expand it and they need to get it out. Port Macquarie, I think, is a good one. I went up and watched the Jets play there once. I think it was an FFA Cup match. Stop me head. It's good ground. It works. So, but yeah, whatever. At the end of the day, I believe we need to take at least, I'd say 2 home games, and take it out to the community somewhere.
It's the old home. They're the old home away from home games.
Yeah,
that we were mandatory to do. Everybody had to do it.
Went there, it was a great game. Yeah, but that's the thing. I think it should be mandatory. I think every A League club.
I don't understand. I'm pretty sure it was until not this season, last season. Every club had to because Wellington used to take them to Auckland.
Yeah. Auckland.
Melbourne used to take them to. Victory used to take them to GMHBA in Geelong.
Yeah, but for me, that's not even a. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it is. Not now because Western, but it was.
I get it. But for me, that's not fun. I would go as somewhere like Shepparton or something like that. Like Shepparton's further than that.
Yeah.
Again, Shepparton hasn't got a stadium to hold it, but
again, population density.
Yeah, exactly right.
Geelong, and they're not talking about just like Geelong. They're talking down as far as Lawn.
Yeah, correct. Oh, absolutely, freaking Warrnambool, whatever.
Oh no, not Warrnambool. That's a step too far, I think. But like your Apollo Bay areas, your Torquays, that's what they're going. That's what they're going for when they put it at GMHBA.
See, for me, and again, this is my opinion purely. For me, it should be an away home match.
It is.
For me, yeah, but see, Geelong's not. That 2 hours, you'd be home. Go down and watch the game, you're home in an hour.
Well, for us, yes.
Port Macquarie is a freaking 3-hour drive.
Mm.
Like, that's a big effort, and you're not coming. If it's a 7 o'clock game, you ain't coming back, and it's completely different. You're nowhere near anything else. You go down there for the weekend. It's a family. It's an away day.
Yeah,
as a home match.
But that's the thing. You do a 3-hour drive from here in Melbourne from Amy Park, man. You're basically in New South Wales.
Correct.
So like,
they could do one at Albury. I don't see why they wouldn't. Albury's a good spot. Albury's got a massive stadium, and it would get friggin' plenty of traction. It's not that far from for Canberra. It amazes me that a Sydney side doesn't play in Canberra. Yeah, just little things like that. Maybe have a regional round, all games played at regional.
Yeah, they used to.
Absolutely.
They used to.
Absolutely, they should.
They used to. Everybody used to have a home. Everyone used to have to do at least one home away from home round.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think there was specific criteria for it. I think it's something like it's got to be more than like 50 kilometers from the CBD or the stadium that they were based in. It's some metric like that. That's why they can get away with doing it in Geelong, because it's past that metric. It might not seem like it, but when you're doing 100 kilometres down the freeway from Melbourne, trust me, it don't take you long to get to Geelong.
Yeah.
But you are travelling quite a distance to do it.
Well, I know Victory played at Tassie once.
Yeah.
What's an effort? That's good.
Yeah.
So.
But GMHBA it's what they would classify as a regional area, because in Melbourne it is. Geelong is a regional area. Jesus Christ, where Josh and I live is on the border of metro and regional. We still have diesel bloody trains. With like 100,000 people, over 100,000 people here. Like,
yeah.
Newcastle's FFA Cup home games at Magic Park are so good because they are you're so close to the action. Yeah. I mean, pre-season when Jets played City down here in friggin' Ballarat. That was brilliant.
Playing at a regional ground is great.
It was friggin' cold, but
Green Gully versus Central Coast was friggin' cracker.
Oh yes.
Choice. Two shit sides. And I'm not even going to back Green
Gully. We left indoor early that night. We asked the blokes at indoor if we could play our game half an hour earlier so we could go.
Yep. And
me, you, and Dale, well, not Dale, but me and you, rocked up in Jets gear.
Mm-hmm.
We came to it. People were like, what are you doing, Newcastle Jets fans here? And like, yeah, we're here to watch the Coast lose. And then 6 months later, old mate in the stands at bloody Amy Park sitting across from us has got a sign there in a Mariner shirt going, we came to watch the Jets lose. It was banter. We thought it was hilarious because we knew damn well what they were doing.
What was the bloke we seen?
They were stabbing back at us from the FFA Cup game.
What was it? We went and watched, was it friggin' Avondale just before the COVID shit hit?
Yeah.
Two blokes sitting there in the West.
Oh, who was it? It was Avondale and they got Avondale and Melbourne Knights. That's right, because fucking Avondale fucking thumped them. That was down in George Cross. What is it? City Vista, where Western United train.
And he picked me out in the NCL scarf. That's what
it
was. Which is quite bizarre. But anyway, we're rambling on. We are going to wrap it up. Next week, you're probably going to get a lot of this because friggin' I haven't
run out of guests.
Well, that's it. They're getting down to the nitty gritty. The boys are all back, so we can't really do that. I can't go chasing. Ex-players are hard. There are a couple of blokes there that I will re-hit up. That I've hit up in the past and have been busy. We'll see what happens. But,
we may have one in the works that me and you were discussing earlier tonight.
Yeah,
that'd be an interesting one. But it won't be during the week.
Yeah, no, we'll have no.
That one's an overseas one.
Yeah, it's an overseas one, so friggin' that'll be another stupidity.
There'll be another Saturday, Sunday morning sort of thing.
Unless it'll be a weekend for sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, we are going to wrap it up there. Before we do go, I will ask Benno kindly to bring up the competition.
Already done.
Mako glasses on screen now that you guys should be able to see because I can't. Is obviously the $200 pair of Mako sunglasses thanks to Mako and Gabriel Mar Optometry. We are going to announce that on next week's show. It's going to happen. So Chris and Luke and Aiden and everyone else who's in here, who's been in here, Alex.
Means I have to go and do spreadsheet work.
Marika, everyone in there, just tag all your friends in the post on Crossbar Capers Facebook page. If you haven't liked the Facebook page already, please go and do so. Be sure to go subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. That's pretty much as simple as it is. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the Facebook page, tag all your mates below. Just scroll down a bit, you'll see that exact same photo, and tag all your mates in there. And that's as easy as it is to enter. And your name can get drawn out and win yourself a 200 pair of Mako sunglasses thanks to our sponsor, Gabriel Mar Optometry, and actually Mako themselves. Other than that, thank you guys obviously for jumping on and listening again each week. It's muchly appreciated. If you guys aren't here, it makes Ben and my job pretty hard. Otherwise, we'd be sitting here freaking arguing all night, as you guys can see. At the end of the day, it's all in good fun. As I said, as an overcastrian myself, I'm very passionate about the club, and I'll be damned if I've got anything to do with it. That if anything happens badly to that club, they'll fucking know about it.
As a non-Novocastrian, I'm proud of our club.
So exactly.
And I will fight for it being a non-Novocastrian and make sure that I am hurt. Exactly. It's no different whether you're an Novocastrian or not.
Oh, no. As I said, but again...
Well, in my case.
No. In supporting the club, no. But again, as obviously Luke and they can contest, as a Novocastrian, a proud Novocastrian, I love my hometown and everything about it. And at the end of the day, it's what brings international players to the region. It is an amazing place. Coming down, obviously around the bends, as Ben has seen on numerous occasions. When you
every time I go,
when you go to the bends,
every time I go,
the beach is there, and
the final day is spent driving around Merriweather Beach.
Absolutely. Every time I go up there, I just spend the whole day just going around like the major areas.
I'll put it this way, mate. I've been there that many times now. I can sort of roughly navigate my way around, like sort of the mainish part without maps and GPS.
It's easy enough to do. It's luckily not that big, which is great. And there's more than one road in and out. It's good. Doesn't matter which road you take, you'll get to wherever you want to.
Is it 5 ways, 9 ways? 9 ways.
9 ways.
9 ways, yeah.
That's it, yeah. Because right in the middle.
Right near Magic. Right near Magic Park.
9 directions, and it doesn't matter which direction you get, you'll get to whatever destination you want, whether you've got to backtrack to get to it or 20 minutes, you'll still get there. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, guys, we thank you guys for jumping on and obviously having a chat this week. We will see you guys next week. At this stage, most likely Thursday, as usual. What else have we got? Benno in the pipes. What are we doing? There was something I was going to say, but I can't remember what the hell it was at this point. What the? No. Well, he was going to do it. He beat me to it. I was going to wait.
I don't know if it's going to work, though.
I don't know. I can see the...
I don't think it is.
CFG, but that's as far as I got. But as I said, it didn't pop up there. But be sure to go and check out Ben's channel, Corner Flag Games.
I'll do it manually.
On Twitch and obviously on YouTube. Streamed last night. He'll be doing possibly GTA tomorrow.
GTA tomorrow.
On Sunday. He'll be doing a few things obviously next week as well. So be sure.
Dylan Smith, when's the damn glasses drawn?
Next week.
If you were here like quite literally 3 minutes ago.
Yeah. Next week, mate. Next week. So be sure to go subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Don't you dare, Luke.
And tag as many mates in there as you can. Get as many mates in there, more the merrier. It's muchly appreciated, mate.
Oh, that didn't work.
That didn't work either. Broke that shit. But yeah, that's it. But yeah, Dylan, it'll be drawn next week. 100%. If you're in Newcastle, we will ask you obviously to go into
Get
store
them.
and grab them. If you live out of the state or well and truly out of Newcastle CBD scenario, we'll post them to you. No dramas at all. Other than that, mate, muchly appreciated. Thanks for jumping on.
Always pleasure. Hope everyone enjoyed the new format tonight.
Absolutely, yeah. Hopefully everyone enjoyed it. It's a little bit different.
Be much better when he gets a green screen.
Yeah, mate. But friggin' at the end of the day, I'm forking out friggin' dollars and dollars and dollars. It's going to take time, mate.
I told you, mate. Couple of woolly shopping bags. You unpick them. And you tape them together, and it works.
And where am I going to?
That's how my desk disappears over here.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't need my desk because I can't even see my desk.
No,
so.
There's a way around it, mate. A little bit of PVC pipe and a bit of needle and thread, mate. It's easy done. It's on the cheap, brother. It's on the cheap, and it works. And some lighting.
Chris, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I was talking to you yesterday, Chris. It's pretty mayhem down here at the moment. So.
It's idiots being idiots. Idiot sandwich.
Not idiots, I suppose. It's pretty chaotic. I'm not going to lie. I'm friggin' it's full on. As I said, there's a major hotspot out in Sunshine West where I'm currently working, which is an absolute pain in the ass because people aren't going crazy. But at the same time, though, it's friggin' pretty full on. And at the end of the day, just it's a matter of staying safe and taking as much precaution as we possibly can. Not so much for myself, but obviously pregnant wife.
It's just typical. It's just typical Melburnians, mate. You give them an inch, they take the entire road. We relaxed the restrictions, and everybody immediately thought, "Oh, well, fuck, we're all off the hook now." And they just went and did what they want, and then they'll complain when we're forced to go back into hiding again. They'll complain, "Oh, what are we stuck back inside for?" Because you were idiots the fucking first time. It's simple.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Josh can attest. I don't leave my house unless I have to.
Oh, absolutely, and it's at that point now where we're at
because of course it's
Chrissy's old man's birthday this weekend, and
my sister's birthday next weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Apparently I'm Melbourne. A few people were floating about and not isolating.
Flouting about and not isolating. Yeah, that's because they're idiots. They think they know better.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. And then, of course, because there's that thought of we may be getting locked back down again. Of course, Luke, we've got no toilet paper now. Because the idiots are back.
Mate, Dill, you must come in at the very end. We literally spoke about that probably about an hour into it. Look, at the end of the day, if Laurie gives up his time, it's not without us, politely asking.
We're not going to force him to. He's flat stick.
He's under the pump. Obviously, he's trying to get everything set up for the remainder of this season. Obviously, the new takeover talks and everything else and stuff like that. We are obviously, I'm sure, with so many other different social media outlets wanting to get him on and obviously talk to him about everything.
That is one thing that we will not be able to discuss with him. He will be wrapped up in NDAs up to his eyeballs about it.
Look, at the end of the day, it would be virtually a straight up. If we do get him on before the whole takeover scenario, it'll be, hey mate, can you give the fans a bit of insight into the takeover scenario? And he'll be virtually, it's as basic as it is. Friggin', yes, there are talks.
It's not so. You won't hear anything here that you wouldn't have already heard in the media,
unless he gets here before the media. And then it'll be vice versa. But at the end of the day, mate, yes, we will be trying to get him on as soon as possible. If, as I said, like the Facebook page if you haven't done so already. I believe you have already, mate. But if you like the Facebook page and everything else, you'll get notified when I put it up. Because as soon as I get an interview with Laurie, I will be making sure I put it up on Facebook and let all you guys know that we will have him on. But until then, until you see it, we haven't got him. So, but anyway, thanks again, Dill, for jumping on, mate. Muchly appreciated. But other than that, we are going to wrap it up here and now. We do thank Cass for jumping on tonight and giving her a bit of a time to talk a little bit about herself. We wish her, again, the best of luck for the WMPL with Manly. Hopefully a new season next year with the Newcastle Jets women's side. Be sure to get down there and support them, as I said. A big shout out, which I've forgotten to do on so many occasions the last few weeks or whatever it is, Save the Humans. It's up there in the top right-hand corner. Be sure to go check those guys out on YouTube. Banging music, good bunch of lads. And I thank them for obviously letting me use their one of their songs for our intro. But yeah, absolutely great guys. They've got a bit of merchandise, a few stickers and shirts and everything else. So in you buying something like that, that obviously helps them out in obviously the tough times as well. Be sure to get down to your local communities like your Three Bears and everything else who are now booming and doing great things as well. Muchly appreciated, and big shout out to the boys down there and everything else. So yeah, other than that, guys, we'll speak to you soon. We'll talk to you next week at the very latest. Be sure to go check out Ben's stuff for the next couple of days. Maybe over the weekend I'll probably be streaming on the Twitch side of things. No different. Crossbar _ Capers.
I'll put it in the chat.
No, you don't even stress about that, mate. It's pretty straightforward. Crossbar _ Capers. There you go. There's only 3 boys here who are probably already there anyway. And the other thing is, as Luke just mentioned, which I was about to get to, which was going to be literally my last top thing. If you guys aren't getting up at 2 o'clock,
2 a.m.
until 2 a.m. roughly, yeah, good luck to obviously the Matildas and obviously I can't remember what the Kiwis are, the White Ferns,
the Ferns,
those lines, Ferns, just the Ferns. Obviously in their bid to host the 2023 World Cup, which is going to be a massive boost for Australia, which will be a massive boost for Newcastle as one of the most likely places to.
It'll be a host city.
Group games. Oh, it's definitely a host. It's already been confirmed. If it does go ahead, we'll get semi-finals, definitely group stages, most likely semi-finals, if not more.
Yeah. Had a feed at the Kafey Cafe today. It was great. Chris went and saw Julian.
Went and seen Julian, mate. Absolutely. Yeah, be sure to, yeah, as I said, we should have just trotted down to the Three Bears as well.
Yeah, pop jet in, said on to Tony.
But yeah, as I said, be sure to go check those guys out. Chris, come on, Chelsea. Everyone, come on, Chelsea.
Come on. You won't. It's very rare you'll hear me say this, but come on, Chelsea.
Come on, Chelsea. I've had so many arguments over the last 24 hours with a lot of mates in regards to this or whatever it is. Going, oh, freaking, I hope they freaking get beat and then we can beat City. I don't want to go to City.
No, you don't want to take that risk.
Because they will beat us. Well, I don't say they will beat us. They are the one team that will pump us if we are off our game. If we played shit against Crystal Palace this morning and come away with 4 goals. So.
Oh yeah, Luke's. I'm 100% the exact same words as you, Luke. Sadly, come on, Chelsea.
Yeah. As I said, there'd be nothing sweeter than rocking up at the Etihad with them pricks having to freaking do a guard of honor as we walk through.
Yeah.
Knowing that there is now nothing
they can do.
It's done. So come on, Chelsea.
They'll come out and fight harder and go, look, we just beat the champions.
Exactly. That's what it would be if they beat.
Then Liverpool go out and go, we've already won the champion. We've already won the EPL, so we sent out a B-side.
Our squad was literally at 80% today. Friggin' there was a couple of youngsters in there at the back line and shit like that. So, but yeah. Anyway, we're gonna leave it there.
We're rambling.
We're on the line and we'll never get off the freaking shit.
Ugh.
Thanks to Ben. Thanks.
Always a pleasure, guys.
We'll speak to you guys soon. And as always,
we hate Coast Scum.
No worries, guys. We'll catch you later. Cheers.